Hey everybody, welcome back. So today I was able to track Jerry down and we are going to rack mead number one. Just as a recap, mead number one is the traditional mead, which is about 13% alcohol. It's been going for, we're on day 22.
22.
So it's been 22 days. It's still fermenting a little bit, but it has slowed down a lot. It is still going, but I'm gonna go ahead and call it done. So we just got some water in our container. We put some star sand so we can go ahead and get this stuff sanitized here. And we're gonna get this going in secondary.
Right, so what's the purpose, like why wouldn't we just let this finish like this? What's the purpose of putting it in a secondary?
So again, I'm no expert, so those of you who know, let us know in the comments really what the secondary is for. I mean, we're not putting fruit or anything like that, but basically it's to get the dead yeast, get the mead away from the dead yeast and the other sediment and nutrients and stuff that were used in the primary fermentation that have settled down to the bottom. So what this allows us to do is just to come up with a much cleaner mead. You could probably just let it go and it would maybe be fine, but according to the steps, you really need to get it into the secondary fermentation process. So we're just gonna get these items out. Again, just sanitized them, and then we're gonna go ahead and get things set up so that Jerry, since I've racked 2 times now, he's gonna rack for the first time. So I'm gonna help him walk through that.
So do we wipe this stuff off with
No.
a rag?
Nope.
So you leave it just like that?
Yep. Okay, so just to recap with the racking process, we're just gonna go from this primary fermentation container to our secondary fermentation container, just recently sanitized. We're gonna take this, we're gonna attach our hose to our auto siphon. Okay, we need to take a reading, an ABV, alcohol by volume reading, before we proceed, because I do want to make sure that the fermentation is done or is almost done. We need to sanitize this stuff too. So take it over there and let's sanitize it. These 2 things. Okay, so we just sanitize the rest of our equipment. We have our plastic tube, we've got our hydrometer here. So we are going to take our mead number one, traditional mead, and we are going to get some in the hydrometer container. I'm gonna try to just get as few bubbles as possible because we really want to get a good reading on this. Our expectation is that the mead is going to be 1.000, which means that all of the yeast was able to chew through and feed off of all of the existing sugar from the honey. I'm just going to get this filled up real quick, nice and slow.
So what's the reading we should expect?
So the reading we're looking for is 1.000 or lower. So basically the hydrometer should be almost down clear to the bottom. Obviously there's a lot of bubbles in there. I didn't do as good a job as I wanted to. But again, you can see where it is. 1.000 is right here, and we expect it where the liquid ends to be right around there. So why don't you go ahead and get down there so you can hopefully get a good visual. Now the difference between the previous hydromel, we only had 1.2 pounds of honey in that. This one, remember, we put 3 pounds of honey in. So there's a lot more sugar for the yeast to feed off of, which by doing that allows for a higher percentage of alcohol also.
Wow. So it's a little past the 20 right there.
Okay, so where are we then?
Just into the white.
Yeah, what's the reading? Which way?
Right here, see it? Right into here.
Oh wow, we're still at 1.020 then?
Yes.
Serious?
So the bubbles cover up a little bit
Yeah, you're right.
of what we're looking at. So if we're in the white, it's literally just into the white, just a little bit. So that's 1.020.
Okay, well,
So it's still feeding then,
yeah, we need to let it go.
like this,
Yeah,
or put it in secondary.
no, we should just let it go.
Okay, all right, well, now we know.
Yeah. Okay, so we are not going to do this or put this into a secondary fermentation container. Our reading is at 1.020, so it's still got quite a ways to go. So I think we're just going to let it keep going. However, we are going to what's called oxygenate this, and basically that just means shaking it up a little bit to get some more oxygen in there, so the yeast can go ahead and continue to feed on that, and it'll hopefully get that process going. So it will go ahead and end. The fermentation process for mead takes 7 to 21 days, and like Jerry said, we're on day 22 right now. So I really wanted to go ahead and end, because in my research I also read that if it goes for too long, the meat can go bad, and I definitely don't want to risk that. But as of right now,
So is there a way to kill the yeast and just?
there is.
Stop.
Like I said, when I wrecked mead number 2, there's 2 chemicals you can put in it. One is potassium metabisulfate, and you put 0.33 grams. It's just dusting in there. And then there is potassium sorbate, and that one you put 1/2 of a teaspoon per gallon in. So when you put those in, that stops the yeast, and it also kills the yeast.
So why wouldn't we do that right now?
Well, we want to get the maximum taste and flavor that we can from that, and also we just want the yeast to actually go through the entire fermentation process. If we stopped it right now, it's probably going to be sweeter, probably much sweeter than what the hydromel mead is, because
We use triple the amount of honey in this.
almost triple, yeah, 3 pounds versus 1.2 pounds.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm expecting this to be much sweeter. So do me a favor, we are going to go ahead and taste it. Just put just enough in there for you and I to actually get a taste. Take it from that container there. Cool. All right, and I'm going to take the hydrometer out.
I'll take that over to the sanitizing water.
Cool. And I'm going to just go ahead and pour this back in. Yeah, see all the foam and activity still going on? There's still a lot of fermentation going on. I mean, I just poured that back in.
It's going
So
strong.
that introduced oxygen into it, and you can see it foamed back up a little
Yeah.
bit. So, all right, so we're gonna do our initial taste test. It is not clear by any means.
No, it
Yeah,
really
you
quite,
really can't tell.
really quite
Well,
cloudy.
Jerry, just from the fermentation container alone, I mean, you can just tell that it's not. So what does it smell like?
It smells like right now it smells like a weak mead.
Yeah.
But it has a honey smell. It just smells watered down,
Yeah.
basically.
But the hydromel actually was like that too. Ready to taste it?
Definitely an alcohol flavor.
Yeah.
Like a lot more than what I thought. It went up in my nose.
So that's referred to as being very dry. This, compared to the hydromel, is much drier. So there's more of an alcohol content in
Definitely.
it. So we're definitely going to be back sweetening this.
Definitely tasting
Wow.
alcohol. It's not bad.
No.
It's not bad. It's more than beer. It reminds me of a wine,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, a mild wine.
Yep. Yeah. Wow.
Wow, the alcohol is. I did not expect that.
I didn't either. Interesting. Okay, so
Wow.
it's still got a ways.
Yeah. So
To
we're
go.
not going to put it in secondary.
No.
You're going to oxygenate it and get it going again.
Yeah, so basically in a nutshell, what we're talking about is I'm gonna take this, put this back on here, and then before I set it down back into storage, I'm just gonna put my thumb over this, shake it up a little bit, shake it around, get some oxygen in there, and just get it going. And I guess we're gonna let it go for at least another week or so.
Right.
At least till it's done.
Well, so at least the plan right now is to allow it to go when we think mead, when we're going to check on mead number 3, the Hunter's raspberry mead.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah. Okay. So, do you want to show us how you're going to oxygenate that?
Yeah, I mean, there's a risk that it's going to foam up and it could come out, so probably not a good idea to do it here.
So let's do it in your safe area.
Yeah. Here, take that. Actually, we're going to refill that too. Okay, so this is the bathroom in my basement. I've been keeping everything in the tub here, so just in case if anything does explode or overflow or whatever, I read a tip that if you have a bathtub in your basement, this is pretty much the best way to do it because the room stays dark, no one really goes down there much, and if anything does go south, at least there's a drain where things can go. So I'm just gonna swirl this around, put some oxygen back in it, get it going again, and then I'm gonna put the airlock back on it, and we'll see what happens. So you can see what it's doing here. Now some people actually really shake it up, but I've seen some explosions happen from that. Not where the bottle actually breaks or what's called a bottle bomb, but you pretty much get what I'm saying. It'll just spew right out of the top. Yeah, you can see it foaming up here, and you can see some stuff floating around in the mead. So again, I'm just oxygenating it to get that yeast going and just get this thing to finish.
That's what she said.
It's coming out of the top.
Yeah, see that? See it coming right out of the top there? And you see I'm not really doing much to it at all. Again, all normal, all part of the process. All right, I just kind of rinsed that out to get some of the foam and stuff out of there. I'm going to get some sanitized water and put in there. Make sure that we don't introduce any bacteria or anything like that in our brew. Hold on. All right, so we got it all set and ready. Just going to get that right back in there. You can see the foam's already gone down. And just like in the past, we're just going to let it go and just let it finish out. Hopefully it'll be done within another week or so. And over here right next to it, you can see the 3-gallon carboy with our raspberry mead going on there. It looks really good. That one's going really well. Still in the fermentation process, and it's got about 9 days left. Okay, so unfortunately we weren't able to rack it, and I wasn't able to show Jerry how to do that yet. So he still hasn't done it, but we'll do that definitely, hopefully on the next one everything goes well. So right now, what do you think about the process and how things are going?
Honestly, it's like a lot of the stuff that you and I have decided that we were just going to do. Not hard, just takes time.
Yeah.
A little bit of research, dedication, and time.
Yeah.
That's really it. It's surprisingly easy about what we've done so far. And I'm really looking forward to those final products. And then venturing out a little bit and seeing what creatively we can come up with.
Right.
I mean, I know we talked about blackberry, maybe watermelon or mango or pineapple or like we discussed quite a few options that we're not really sure which way we're going to go, but a little bit of research and time.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's been really cool. I hope you guys like the adventure that we're going on, learning mead and trying to do it. If so, please like, subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the bell so that you can receive notifications when new videos come on board. Is there anything else that we need to go over?
No, so that's it for this video, guys, and we will see you on the next one.
A few moments later.
Hey there, YouTube family. This is Gary. I'm back with another episode of Mead. Today, I am going to take mead number 1 and I am going to rack it into a secondary container. I'm going to stabilize it and I'm going to add a fining agent to it so it'll clear up. You can see that it's pretty hazy here. So it looks like it's basically done fermenting. It's been about 5 weeks. So hoping that it's done, but we're going to go ahead and get started here. So one of the first things that I need to do is I need to take a gravity reading to see where we are. Actually, the starting gravity reading for mead number 1 was 1.110, which put us right around 15% alcohol. So what I need to do is I need to get some of the mead and put it in this tube here. Then I need to take our hydrometer and get a reading to see where we are. Again, if we're at 1.000 or less, then the fermentation process is 100% done, which I'm hoping that's where we are. Trying to do this to get as minimal amount of bubbles as possible. I haven't really found a very good way to do that yet, so. Excellent. So now that we got that done, I'm going to go ahead and put the hydrometer in here. I was told it helps if you give it a little spin, so it'll go right to the center. Look at that. Grab my glasses. All right, so we are not at 1.000, but we are very close. And it's enough, I think. I'm gonna go ahead and call it. It's about 1.004, actually. All right, I need to make a note of that. Okay, so like I said, it's been done fermenting for a while. I'm barely seeing any bubbles, so I'm pretty confident the fermentation process is done. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this, well, let me set this to the side and get the racking going. So I'm gonna rack into this wide mouth container, and just to reaffirm everything that I've said previously, everything has already been sanitized and washed, and I just have everything laying here ready for use. Okay, so here's the racking cane, the auto siphon. All right, we just need to give it a couple of pumps. And our mead is flowing. So again, on this whole adventure, I've been doing a lot of research. And a lot of people, you know, they refine it and they clear it, but it really doesn't matter. Clearing is just for looks. It doesn't change the flavor or anything like that at all. But everybody wants mead or wine, you know, to look clear. It gives it a more refined, professional look. To be honest, I don't care if it's clear or not. I want mead just for the mead. But I figured I'd go ahead and give it a shot while I'm doing this whole thing. So the clearing agent, or the fining agent as it's called, that I'm going to use on the #1 mead here is actually called bentonite. The bentonite is a clay. Honestly, it is. It's clay. Basically, you boil some water, you put a couple of teaspoons in there, and you let it set for an hour, and then you put it in there and let it set for about another week or so. And then that should take any remaining sediment or anything and allow that to fall to the bottom, so that basically it gets it ready to be bottled. Like I said, I'm gonna stabilize it, kill the fermentation process and any yeast that still, or active yeast that still remains, and then with the clearing, it should be ready to be bottled, I don't know, within a week or less. I want to try to get as much of this as I can though. Looks like you got a little bit of oxygen in there. Keep that sucker going. I knew that was going to happen. Bound to happen once, right? Probably the first of many. All right. So So that's all the mead we're getting out of that. All right, no problem. All right, so that's the remaining sediment that we have in there. You can see that. All right, let's put this one to the side. We'll get that cleaned up later. All right, we're gonna cut real quick so I can clean my mess. Okay, now that I got all that squared away, we go ahead and take the hydrometer out. One thing I do need to do is take a taste test. Again, I don't have anybody here with me. Jerry was supposed to come, but he wasn't able to make it. Okay, so it's got a good honey smell. Oh, it really does. Better than the first time I tasted it. Yeah, I can really smell the honey. Okay, big thing though is the taste. Wow, that tastes really good. The first time I tasted it, it had a real dry or that alcohol taste, which I don't care for. But this is very smooth. I plan to back sweeten this like a lot later, but wow, that is really, really good. The longer I let it ferment, it seemed to get better. As they say, wine gets better with age. And what is mead but honey wine? It's definitely gotten better. Wow, that's good. I like that. Excellent. Okay, so we've got it racked into another container. I'm gonna go ahead and stabilize it now. So just to recap, like before, stabilizing it takes two items that we add. One is potassium metabisulfate, which when I did it the first time, I made the mistake, obviously. I mean, I'm new. I bought this giant potassium metabisulfate thing, having no idea what I really needed to do. But after doing more research, I found out that they have these things called Campden, C-A-M-P-D-E-N tablets. And basically it's 1 tablet per gallon of mead. So I'm gonna go ahead and add that. I also found out a little trick, I guess, of the trade where basically they told everyone, because you have to crush the tablet up to put it in there. So what you do is you take the tablet, you put it on 1 spoon, and then you take another spoon, you put it on top, and then you crush it. Let's give it a try. All right, excellent. Looks like that turned into a fine little powder there. So that worked out better than expected. See that? Okay, so we're gonna put our potassium metabisulfate in there. Next thing, the second part of that is potassium sorbate. So the potassium sorbate, that is 1/2 teaspoon. All right, outstanding. Okay, so now that that's done, I'm gonna give this a stir, and then I'm gonna add the clearing agent or the fining agent to it. With this, with it being so murky, I'm hoping that the fining agent is really gonna clear this up. So we'll definitely, do a follow-up video with that. All right. So the one that I chose for mead number 1 is bentonite, and it's a clay. It's literally a clay. Look at this. It's a clay. So you do boiling water and you put, let me see. You put a teaspoon of this stuff in here and you let it set for an hour, and then you put it in your wine, and you let it set for anywhere from 2 to 3 days to a week, and it should let it clear up. So again, planning to bottle this when this process is done. We're gonna call it complete, but I'm gonna go ahead and put this bentonite in there. It does say too to do it at the beginning of your mead making process, but you can also put it in in the secondary process also. So basically what this does is this clay gets the solids that are still in there that are causing all of this cloudiness to stick together to the bentonite, and it causes it to drop down to the bottom. And that's what helps clear it up. Science, right? All right. Give that another stir here. Okay, and then I'm just going to put the lid back on. I'm going to go ahead and put an airlock on it too. Better to be safe than sorry. Let me fill this up here. Okay, so here we go. Mead number 1. We took a gravity reading. It's almost done, 1.002. We were expecting 1.000, but the fermentation process is done. We racked it, we stabilized it using potassium metabisulfate, the Camden tablet, and potassium sorbate, and I added a fining agent to help clear it up. And we're gonna let this sit basically until it clears up. But let's give you guys a good look. So this is mead number 1, the traditional, about 15% ABV, or alcohol by volume. And hoping this thing gets done. And again, we're waiting, until all 3 of the meads are done so we can do a taste test. So hoping all these get done here real soon, and we can include you guys in on that taste test too. And looking for some ideas for what our next mead should be. So if you have any thoughts or anything at all, please put them down in the comments. Of course, if you have any questions, I may not know, I'm learning this stuff, but by all means, put them down in the comments. Let me know and I'll do everything that I can to get back to you. All right, thanks a lot for watching this video. If you haven't already, please hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, I know Jerry and Dawn really would appreciate it if you would do that. And by all means, if you want to get more content like this, go ahead and hit that bell so you'll be notified every time a new video comes out. I hope you guys really enjoyed this. Again, this adventure is really cool. Never done anything like this before, so it is pretty awesome. I look forward to doing this more, so anything that you guys want to see in the future, by all means, just let me know. All right, thanks a lot.